Reasons to be wary of my microphone reviews. I'm on the Rode NT1 and I have a guest here. I've got my Beyer V96C true condenser, and I'll swap between them if I remember, just so our ears get used to different microphones. Do that now. Now I'm on the Beyer, which is a bit closer to my mouth, obviously, as you notice. Well, with my microphones, I use them on students and anybody I can, really, apart from people in the street, just to see and listen. But most of the information I gather comes from my own use. And my own use is maybe fairly particular. Or it's, should I say, peculiar to the style of music and style of singing that I do, and yours may be different, very different, slightly different. So you need to bear that in mind, I would say. I don't think of myself as a singer. But rather a musician who sings. And I've noticed that my attitude towards this instrument and this instrument seems to be that of a musician rather than that of a singer. I'm going to do a video at some stage of the difference between singers and musicians. And there are singer musicians, of course. But there are different requirements, different pressures. It's quite interesting, I think, anyway, but not for now. I like, for whatever reason, to, I would say, paint with my voice. So I feel this is the palette of colours and things I can use. This is my brush, along with the rest of the PA. Usually I take my own. And the ears of the listener are the canvas. I think it's quite magical because this process is ephemeral and ineffable. By ephemeral, I mean it's fleeting. You can't, it's gone. Every note's gone. You can record it, but even when you listen back, every note keeps going. Whereas a painting, you can look at it and see the whole thing, you can look in detail, it's there. Music's not there. And I would say it's ineffable because what is music? It's different things to different people. Infinitely different things to infinitely different people, it seems to me, the older I get. So you can't really say, why do you like it? What? You can tell me a story. You don't really tell me why you like it. I've captioned the following video clip, noting how I'm using the microphone as I look back at it. By now it's mostly semi-automatic. But maybe from that you can get some idea of what kind of microphone you might use. Maybe you don't do the things that I do, so it's not important to you. The song I've used covers full range in pitch and dynamics. Nothing was rehearsed. Great musicians, I think the best in the UK. It's jazz, so we turn up, we know the song, the shape of it, and we do it. So again, because nothing is rehearsed, I don't know what I'm going to do with the melody. Depends on what the vibe is and how things are going. So I need a brush that I know well and that I know will do what I want, and consequently the PA as well, which in this case the PA didn't. But the most intimate thing in the chain is this first, most intimate. If this stuffs up, doesn't capture, it's not going to be there later. Later might ruin a good capture here, but, you know, what can you do? Back on the road. The room is a lovely room, Benslow Music Trust, but I'm sure it was built for chamber music, maybe string quartets, acoustic stuff, and acoustic stuff sounds wonderful, just the right amount of reverb. Volume is not too great. Even with the amplified jazz, it was quite loud. The amplified stuff, it causes the room to resonate. I can hear it, there's a boom, and there's too much reverberation. So the room isn't ideal, but the camera. GoPro action cam, waterproof and all that business. Not designed for music. Hasn't got a microphone. Does okay for your holiday shots and underwater and all the rest of it, and climbing mountains and whatever you do. Strap it to your head when you're hang gliding. Not designed for. Why did I use it then? Well, because as you can see, I often record for a record. Sorry about the creaks. It's not my knees, I assure you. For myself to look at, educational for myself. painful to watch sometimes, but has to be done, I feel. Everybody else sees it, so why shouldn't I? And this clips on anything, mic stand, back of a chair, so many options with not much to carry. So that's why I used the GoPro. It is a wide-angle lens, which means there's distortion at the edges of the frame, and it wasn't very flattering on my friend Jenny, I'm afraid, and it's made me look like an alien, but hey. And I apologise. For my Spanish.
Bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame. Tengo miedo, perderte, perderte después. Bésame, bésame mucho.
If you've watched the video, then you've got an idea of how I use the mic, and maybe why I like a full bandwidth microphone that is high resolution as well. But that's for my voice and the kind of things that I do. So in looking at these reviews, bear in mind then that whilst I try to be as neutral as possible with these reviews, inevitably I've got my own agenda, because it's the way I use it. There are certain things I just don't do. I don't do Screamo, so I don't know if it's any good for Screamo. A couple of things you might look at for yourself is, what is it you're trying to achieve creatively? And what do you want from your mic? Why not contemplate these things?